Today we are looking at different sounds of the seasons. Springtime is here. Fresh green leaves are growing on the trees, and a cuckoo starts to call. Little lambs are playing in the meadows, running and jumping and bleating. "Aw, bah," says the little lamb. Now it's summer. Horses are chasing each other around the fields in the sunshine, while the butterflies flutter over the meadow. Field mice squeak as they scatter about. Look at all the beautiful colors of summer. In the autumn, the forest floor is full of leaves. A flock of geese honk noisily as they fly over the trees. Can you hear the badger rustling through them? A flock of geese honk noisily as they fly over the trees. On a cold winter evening, a reindeer crunches through the thick, soft snow. There's almost nothing else to hear except for a cardinal bird's beautiful song. Now it's getting warmer and spring has come again. Hungry otters crack the ice and catch fish in the river. After their long sleep in the cold months, a bear and her cubs wake up to play in the sunshine. Here's Peppa Pig to celebrate the seasons with us. There are many seasons in the year. Do you know how many? That's right, there are 4 seasons during the year. And do you know the names of the seasons? We have spring, summer, autumn, and winter. We are going to learn a little bit about each one today with Peppa Pig. Peppa loves springtime. Flowers are blooming and the apple tree is covered in blossom. Daddy Pig is covered in blossom too. We are going to use our stickers to add more flowers and more friends. Let's start with some flowers. Flowers bloom a lot in the springtime. They need lots of sunlight and water to grow. I'm going to add this bird to the sky. A lot of birds make nests and hatch eggs in the springtime. Maybe you might see a nest if you look carefully in the trees during the springtime. Now time to add a bunch more flowers. Now that we've added a bunch of flowers, I'm going to add this butterfly beside Peppa Pig, flying around in the spring breeze. Now time to add some of Peppa's friends. Here we have Susie riding her bike. Here we have Rebecca Rabbit. We're going to put her riding her bike beside George. That's a great place to put her. And she has her helmet on. Just like you should always remember your helmet when you're riding your bike too. Here comes Zoe Zebra with an adorable ladybug helmet. That is super cute. I'm going to put Emily Elephant up by Peppa Pig beside Daddy Pig, who's covered in spring blossoms. That's a good spot for her. There we go. Now maybe just a few more friends. Let's see. Here we have Pedro Pony. I'm going to put him... over here by Danny, flying his yellow kite. There we go. That's a lot of friends for Peppa to play with in the park. Ooh, here we have Muddy Puddles. In spring, there can be lots of rain. And lots of rain means muddy puddles. Peppa and George love jumping in muddy puddles. Who else is splashing with them? We are going to use our stickers to decide who to put in the muddy puddle with Peppa and George. Let's see. First, Peppa is missing her boots. We need to give Peppa her yellow rain boots so that she can splash around in the mud all she wants. There we go. Now she won't get her feet dirty. Now time to add some friends. Here we go. This mud puddle sure is getting filled with a lot of Peppa's friends. How about one more? There we go. Now our muddy puddle picture is complete. Another super fun thing that Peppa loves to do in this summer is have a picnic. A perfect picnic. Peppa and George are very excited. They are visiting Cousin Chloe for a springtime picnic in the garden. What should they eat? We are going to use stickers to lay out a delicious feast on the picnic blanket for Peppa and her family. Here we go. Let's see what yummy treats we should add. Ooh, a juicy red watermelon is perfect for a picnic. Do you like to eat watermelon too? I love it. Okay, let's see what else we've got. Some salad, green salad with some yummy fresh vegetables. That is a great healthy lunch. What else should we pack? Let's see. Oh, these are some hard-boiled eggs. Those are also really yummy to have on a picnic. Now let's see. Maybe we need some sandwiches. Sandwiches are a real favorite at a picnic. I'm sure Daddy Pig would love a nice big sandwich for his lunch. Now maybe some cheese. Cheese is always super yummy to have at a picnic. Maybe just a slice here or there. Now we could also add some fruit, all different kinds. We've got grapes, apples, pears, a banana, and even some red apples in the back. Both kinds of apples, green and red. We're going to put that under the watermelon. Now, I think maybe a drink. A drink would be good. Everybody's going to be thirsty, right? So some yummy, healthy, fresh squeezed orange juice. We'll put that over here by George. And that leaves us a good amount of space for some yummy treats too. Because you of course need treats at a picnic. Here's some Jell-O, cookies, and yummy cupcakes. But make sure you eat a healthy lunch first and then a treat for dessert. Oh, that looks like a really yummy picnic. I'm sure Peppa and her family are going to love it. Now we're going to add one more friend looking over the picnic. It's a mommy bird and her 3 little babies. Look, remember I said that in the spring, birds love to build nests and have their little babies. I'm going to put this one safe in the tree. There we go. Now this season is summer. It is a hot, dry summer's day. Peppa and her family are splashing around at the water park. We are going to use some stickers to add them to this scene. And then we're going to pop in some water toys for them to play with too. Do you guys think Daddy Pig looks like he likes the big slide? Whoosh! He looks like he's a little bit frightened of the big slide, but I think he's having a lot of fun. Okay, let's see who we need to add first. I don't see Mommy Pig anywhere. Here she is. Now we're going to add her to the scene. Where should we put Mommy Pig swimming? Let's put her over here beside the other water slide. This is a smaller water slide for Peppa and George to go down. Now let's see, who should we add next? Let's add Peppa. Peppa is practicing her swimming. We're going to put her at the bottom of the slide here in the middle of the pool. There we go. Now we're just missing little George. I think George is trying the other water slide for kids. He's coming out of the pink castle. Here we go. Let's put George right on the slide. Mommy Pig is at the bottom waiting for him. Now time to add some friends. Rebecca Rabbit and her little brother are going swimming with Peppa and George too. Let's put them right beside their mom. There we go. Now this pool needs some pool toys. We've got some right here. A beach ball is a perfect thing to play with in the pool. Look at the colors. Yellow, blue, and red. Let's put the beach ball right under the slide where George is going to slide down. And we've got one more pool toy, a banana floaty, a yellow banana floaty. Super silly. Let's put that beside Mommy Pig. She can float around on it while George comes down the slide. Now that this scene is finished, let's see where we're going to go next. The beach! Summer is the perfect time for a trip to the beach. Peppa and her friends are building the best sandcastle ever. We're going to use our stickers to add everyone else to the scene and help them make their amazing sandy creation. Okay, first things first, we have to add the actual sandcastle. Whoa, this is a big one. Look at all of those flags. Let's count how many green flags there are. Ready? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 green flags. Wow, that's a lot. We need to put the sandcastle where there's a lot of room. So I think this is a good spot here, right beside Mommy Pig. Okay, now what do you think we should add next? How about Peppa, George, and some friends? First, here's Peppa. She's digging some more sand for the sandcastle. I'm going to put her right here under Daddy Pig. Do you guys see the Daddy Pig is buried in the sand? What a silly daddy. Okay, now we're going to add George. We're going to put him beside Peppa, also digging the hole. And who else do we have next? Hey, is that Danny Dog? Yes, it is. And it's also Pedro. Okay, let's put them also digging to help build the sandcastle. Great job. Let's put Pedro over here beside Mommy Pig. Red, orange, yellow, brown. The leaves change color in the season of autumn. Peppa and her friends have built a bug hotel in the woods. We are going to use stickers to add more creepy crawlers to the scene. And then some more of Peppa's friends too. Autumn is a wonderful season. It's also known as fall. The leaves fall off the trees. It gets a bit cooler too. So let's start adding a bunch of Peppa's friends to the scene. Now it's time to add some creepy crawly friends. Look at this little ladybug family. We're going to put them right under the hotel. There we go. Now let's see. Maybe a little potato bug. Do you call them potato bugs where you live? That's what I like to call them. And a few more here, one there, and one under that orange leaf. Perfect. Now, what other bugs should we add? Ooh, some beautiful pink butterflies. Let's put them up here. They're fluttering around in the woods. That is 2 pink butterflies, but I think we can add 2 more. These ones are sitting right on top of the hotel. That makes 4 butterflies. Now, let's see. Oh, look at this colorful caterpillar. We can put them over here crawling around by the leaves, because caterpillars love crawling on leaves. They like to eat them too, actually. Next, we have some busy, buzzing bumblebees. Let's put them right by the hotel as well. There are 2 of them. And next, I think we can add some more ladybugs. Let's put them at the bottom beside the other ladybug family. Wow, that's a lot of ladybugs now. I think maybe 1 more potato bug right over here. That will definitely complete our bug hotel. Let's count how many butterflies we have. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 butterflies. Now let's see how many ladybugs. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 little ladybugs. Do you remember how many bumblebees there were? Let's count. Ready? 1, 2. 2 bumblebees. Now let's add some piles of leaves around Peppa and her friends. Do you like jumping in leaves in the fall? That's one of my favorite things to do. Rake up all the leaves and just jump right in. We'll add another pile right over here. And maybe 1 more pile over here by Emily Elephant. There we go. Look at this. I've got 1 more colorful caterpillar and he's already on the branch of a tree. I'm going to connect it to the tree that's already there. There we go. That looks great. Now let's count how many colorful caterpillars. 1, 2, 3. 3 colorful caterpillars on the tree. Look, here's Mr. Porcupine. He came out of the woods to see what all the fuss is about. We're going to put him over here. He's headed back in to find his family again. Today, Peppa and her friends are visiting Mrs. Badger's farm. In autumn, the apples are ready to be picked and long dry grass can get turned into hay. We're going to use our stickers to help Peppa and her friends fill their baskets with juicy apples. Delicious. Do you like going to a farm in the fall? It's a really fun thing to do. You get to be outside and you get to see fresh fruits and vegetables that have grown, maybe even pick some apples or go on a tractor ride like Peppa's friends. Ooh, let's add them right into the back of the tractor where they're having a great time having a ride from Mrs. Badger. Now let's add George over here by Peppa. He picked an apple and he's already trying a bite. It looks delicious. Now over here, there are some chickens playing around in the grass. 1, 2, and 3. 3 chickens. And beside the chickens, we have 1 rooster. Ooh, do you know the sound that the rooster makes? It makes the sound cock-a-doodle-doo. The dry grass that gets rolled into hay gets put into bales like this one. I'm going to put it right beside the barn. I'm also going to put a few more things beside the barn like this pot and watering can. This is an empty pot that maybe Mrs. Badger got rid of a flower already. It's almost time for all the flowers to go away until next spring. But guess what time it is? Apple picking time! Peppa and her friends have been busy picking apples, so we have to fill up their baskets. Let's see how many we're going to put in this basket. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 apples! Wow, Emily Elephant picked a lot of apples in her basket. Let's fill up Peppa's now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10 apples. Wow, Peppa, that is a lot. She really filled her basket full. Now let's put 1 apple in each of Peppa and her friends' little baskets. Now all their baskets are full of yummy, juicy red apples. What a great fall day. Now this is one of my absolutely favorite things about fall. A pumpkin party and Halloween. Mommy and Daddy Pig are throwing an autumn pumpkin party. Everyone is wearing spooky costumes and there are carved pumpkins glowing in the dim light. We're going to use stickers to help decorate the rest of the room and add Peppa and her friends in their costumes too. Boo! Here we go. Let's first add Peppa's friends and finish off the scene. First, here we have Peppa in her witch costume. There we go. And of course, we see George over by Mummy and Daddy Pig. He's dressed as his favorite thing, a green dinosaur. Now let's add some more of Peppa's friends. Can you recognize them? Rebecca Rabbit is dressed as Frankenstein. Emily Elephant has some green face paint and a purple shirt with a pumpkin on it. Super cute. Ooh, look at this spooky vampire. Look at those fangs and the black cape, so spooky. Is that Danny Dog? I think he's dressed like a werewolf. Look at that. Can you guys guess who's dressed in this ghost costume? Shout it out if you can. I wonder if you're right. Now that Peppa and all her friends are here, it's time to add some more spooky decorations to the party. Here are some floating bats. Ooh, look at this spider web. That looks really good. Okay, time to add some more decorations. There, now the party is wonderfully decorated. I think Peppa and her friends are going to have a spooktacular time at this amazing pumpkin party. Winter is here, and that is the last season we're going to be looking at today. It's snowing. Peppa, George, and their friends have grabbed their sledges for a race. We are going to add some hats to keep them warm and use stickers to decide who wins. A lot of places get snow in the winter. Do you get snow where you live? Okay, let's start adding some more of Peppa's friends to this hill. Okay, here we go. There we go. Now, Zoe Zebra is the winner. She reached the finish line first, so we're going to give her the winning trophy. Now we're going to hand out ribbons to the rest of Peppa's friends for their efforts. Here is first place for Zoe Zebra, and second, third, fourth, all the way up to 9th place. Now that everyone has their ribbons, let's add Daddy Pig, who's carrying a silly Peppa and George all bundled up in winter. Winter is usually freezing and you have to wear lots of clothes like jackets, snow pants, and hats. Most of Peppa's friends aren't wearing any hats today. Let's give them all hats to keep them warm. Here we go. Now with their hats on, they'll be nice and warm for the rest of the day. Another fun winter activity is ice skating, and today Peppa and her family are going ice skating. Mummy Pig is teaching Peppa how to glide across the ice. We're going to use our stickers to fill in the rink with other skaters. Beautiful skating, everyone! Here's Daddy Pig, and he's swirling around the ice. Now let's fill it in with some other Peppa's friends. Here we have another ice tree that we're going to add beside the skating rink, and then some snowflakes to fill in the rest of the scene. There, that looks awesome! For our last activity today, we're going to build a snowman. Peppa and George have actually built one already, but something's missing. We're going to use our stickers to dress him. Give him a hat, scarf, and gloves. But we cannot forget, most importantly, his carrot nose. What a wonderful winter's day. So let's start by adding a carrot nose to our snowman. That is most important. Now we're going to dress him with some accessories. Here, we are also going to put Mummy Pig in beside Daddy Pig because she's also helping to build the snowman. We're also going to add one more of Peppa's friends here before we start to build our snowman. So we've got some awesome green accessories for our snowman to keep him nice and warm. Let's start with one of the most important things, which is a hat to keep his little snowball head warm. Here we go. Let's put it on the side. That looks super cute. Now for those sticks, we're going to add some mittens. Some mittens that are green to match his green hat. There's one mitten and two mittens. And the last thing we're going to add is a green scarf to match everything. And now he's going to look, oh my goodness, so cute. He looks also like he's going to stay super warm, just like Peppa and George, who also have on their scarves, hats, and mittens. Here we have this little winter bird that we're also going to add to the scene. And that completes our Peppa's Season sticker book today. Together today we learned about spring, summer, autumn, and winter. I hope you had an awesome time learning with me today. I really had a fun time with you. And I hope you'll join me next time for another learning video. Bye!